Could be. But me, your man, Louie T. Welcome to this LouieTeeNetwork exclusive kickback finale. It's been a fantastic season, had a lot of fun, but unfortunately, we've reached our end. And sadly, I was not in the runnings, didn't win the Soul Survivor pool, wasn't even close in winners and losers. Really disappointing year in the weekly pick'em. I was just flat out trash this year. But this is something you tell the kids, but I had fun, right? And that's half the battle when it comes to this stuff here. But the objective is to win, and I didn't do that. So I am disappointed from that standpoint. But as I've told you guys throughout the course of this year, this has been the most successful year of the Louie T Network, specifically with these exclusives. We've reached heights that we've never attained in the past, and it's because of you. It's because of your dedication. It's because of your participation. It's because you made a conscious decision and effort to play and see it through, right? A lot of people started. Not everybody made it to the finish line, which is an occurrence that we see all too often every year. But that's no difference to me. Once you pay and you're in, that's it. If you decide you want to donate $25 and then don't put in a sheet the rest of the way, that's your prerogative, right? So we passing out some big money tonight. If you I will say this. I'll say this. A lot of y'all didn't save your best for last. And I talked about this last week, how there would be an opportunity because the unpredictability of week 18 leaves the door open, but you got to be within striking distance to take advantage. Some of you are going to be kicking yourselves because that door was wide open. It wasn't just slightly ajar. It was wide open. And had you done work, and this is when you start to kick yourself. You start thinking about past picks. Man, I remember when I did this stupid thing or that stupid thing, and it cost you down the road. But we're going to go through a number of statistics for the year. We will have an award show. My thought process is either I'll do it next week or I'll do it the week where there's no games, which is that first weekend in February. I'm trying to decide which one I want to do. I'll let you guys know. And you'll see the live stream post, and I'll probably warn you in advance via social media and the podcast and things of that nature. But in any event, let's get to the weekly pick'em. So I told you guys that I wanted to end the weekly pick'em with a bang because it'd been such a lackluster year for me. I did not take care of business in the manner that I normally do. And I normally win 4 or 5 times. That did not take place this year. However, I did end it with a bang. So I am excited about that because I did win this week. And so that felt good. I'm not even gonna hold you. I'm not even gonna try to act like it's ho humish or like I wanted to end this one with a bang, and I think we can get to 80 and we should be able to squeeze everything in. Let's see. Yep, there we go. So I said I wanted to win on the way out, and I wasn't bullshitting, and I really wanted this bad, and I was able to get it. I'm really good in these types of weeks. Like I told you, I do my best work at the end of the season. That's when it's usually on the line. That's why I was so disappointed to see money being on the line and some of your worst picks were being made this week. It's just, that's crazy to me, right? It's crazy to me. Well, I was need that number 2 pick, and I had 3 losses, And it came down to points. Me and Fat Boy V both had 3 losses. He had 48 points. I had 44. And let me check the score. I forgot what the score was in the Sunday night game between the Bills and the Dolphins. But I know it didn't exceed 48 or 47, I should say. 21-14 was the score there. So 35 points. Obviously, I was the closest to that. So to the victors go the spoils. It's been a long year. This is only my second win, and I literally had to play 2 hands to get this dub, right? I was finished strong, which I had 4 losses with that one, so I was pretty close. And then I need that number 2 pick, and that one had 3 losses. So I wanted this one bad, and I went and got it, and I feel good about that. So ended it with a flurry. And this one, I think we had some solid money in this one. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 75. So yeah, a nice little solid piece of change on the way out the door, man. I can't knock the hustle. I feel good about that. So I take this as a constellation prize at the end. Would have loved to have done this 2 or 3 more times throughout the course of the season, but I'll take this on the way out. So got my last dub, and I do feel good about that. Now we go to the Big Daddy, and that's winners and losers. And this is interesting, to say the least. We'll zoom out just a tad bit more so that you can see this final column here. I think I'm going to have to move to the other one, this one here. All right, so you don't need to see me, so you can see everything. You should still be able to hear me, though. That's what's most important. So let's see. Where do I want to begin? As always, I guess we'll just begin with the victors, right? So I said victors with an S, meaning that we have a 2-way tie between Big Baller Blake and Smack City. So Big Baller Blake came into the week, I think, up 2 games, and absolutely wet the bed in week 18. Really disappointed in Big Baller Blake. You got $1,400, it's $1,475 to be exact, on the line, and you come out here and you go 9-7. When 10-6 or 11-5 would have done just fine, and you would have walked away with all the money. You come out here and put out a stinker, a 9-7 stinker, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and you mess around and allow Smack City to come in here and go 11-5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and tie you up. And this is what I said. Coop he came in third. He came tied for third. And Coop probably kicking himself because there probably been 1 or 2 games that he picked just trying to be different, i.e. Carolina, for instance, that he didn't need to do that, right, against Tampa Bay. Didn't need to do that, right? And he could have been right there. And I'm just thinking about one game in particular that could have swung this thing in the favor of Coop if he would have avoided picks like this. And maybe he doesn't pick Carolina if he didn't have to try to play catch up. But remember, Coop picked the Detroit Lions in week 17, and everybody else picked Dallas. And had that game gone the way that it should have, Coop would have an extra win, and both Big Baller Blake and Smack City would have an extra loss. And so in effect, one less win, and they would have been tied at 177 and 70 and 95, right? Instead, he's 2 games short, and that one game was the swing game, right? So it's just little stuff like that, and I'm pretty sure there's probably a couple games along the way where Coop goes, man, I should have never done that, right? And it could have been a different outcome because Coop went 12-4 in a week where Big Baller Blake went 9-7. He left the door open, wide ass open, and Coop almost came in there, right? Same could be said for Soul, you know, and I'll go back to week 16 for Soul. Soul was awful in week 16. Had been doing really well. Week 16 got a lot of people. He wasn't alone, but still, that was the week. If Soul was going to make a power move, that was the week to do it because everybody else struggled. But instead, he didn't. And then Soul goes, 12-4 this week and loses by 1 game. And again, sometimes it's 1 or 2 games here or there, right? 1 or 2 games here or there that are all the difference in the world. Jordan Jones was hot of late, cooled off significantly, 10-6, had a shot, only lost by 2 games. Jordan Jones had some spectacular weeks down the stretch, and if Jordan could have pulled out one more, boom, would have came out of nowhere off the pace to steal the money. But nobody wanted it. Nobody really wanted this bread for real. I'm actually disappointed at how this ended. It was kind of anticlimactic, to be honest with you, because nobody really stepped up and asserted themselves and said, hey, this is my money. Back, right? Get your hands off of that. You don't know what to do with that. I wish I was in this thing. I wish I was in it because I would have came and I would have took this money from y'all. Y'all ain't want it. I wish I was within striking distance, but I wasn't. I stunk it up this year. So hats off to Big Baller Blake. And that's what and again, and I tell y'all this at the very beginning, it's all about consistency. And I wasn't consistent. And Big Baller Blake, Smack City, Soul, Coop in particular, those 4 in particular were consistent all year long. You have people that peek their head in here and there, had some big weeks, but the consistency is what won out for Big Baller Blake and Smack City. Big Baller Blake was allowed to have a stinker to finish up because of the consistency that he has shown pretty much all season long. It allowed him to have the cushion that he had to have the week that he had in week 18 and still come out on top. The only thing is he's got to split this money now. So the 2 of you, Big Baller Blake and Smack City, will be splitting $1,475. So that equates to what, $737.50, if my math is correct. So if you've been paying if you paid, and I'll go check your method of pay. If you're on Cash App, you'll get the money tonight. If you're a PayPal user and that's how you want your money to be sent, then it's going to take a while. It's going to take you won't probably get it till next week sometime, to be honest with you, because PayPal is like snail mail. But if you got Cash App, you'll be getting that bread tonight. It'll be hitting your account tonight. So congratulations to both of you. Coop and Jordan Jones came in 3rd. Just missed. Soul came in 2nd, and Soul had been there all year long and fell just a game short. And again, you look back here, you look back there, you think about little misses here and there, and how different things could have been had you won this game or won that game, right? But that's the way the cookie crumbles, right? Our peak performers of the week, as you can see, are Juice and Dandrix. Both went 13-3 this week, which was the high watermark. This was an easy week. I mean, week 18s are I shouldn't say that. Week 18s are never easy because you don't know what is going to happen. All you can do is project who is and isn't going to play their starters, and you should know that. That doesn't require research at this point of the season. if they've got the division locked up or they can't change seeds, etc., then you already know what it is. If they are playing for something, then they're going to play their starters, and then you pick accordingly. I thought this one was pretty cut and dry. This week 18, there wasn't a lot of things to be decided. A lot of teams, for the most part, had everything locked up. There were only a few spots available on both sides of the bracket. And I thought that in saying that, though, how many of these games came down to the wire, right? The Steelers-Ravens game was a slop fest, but the Steelers prevailed. The Buccaneers sweated it out against the Panthers 9-0. The Packers got the Bears 17-9. Like, the Cardinals lost on 2 missed field goals, including a walk-off field goal that was missed as time expired. That easily could have went in the opposite direction. The Rams came from behind and won 21-20. I mean, that game could have gone either way, obviously. The Chiefs eked out a 13-12 victory, I believe it was, over the Chargers. Like, that could have went either way. So, you just never know. When you got backups in the game, all bets are off. But I thought that for the most part, the week went the way that it was supposed to go, outside of maybe Jacksonville. All the rest of them, it could go either way. But the Jacksonville one was probably the biggest surprise of the weekend for me. I just didn't see that taking place. So let's go through everybody's selections in week 18. And there were certain things that I told you guys I was going to be keeping tabs on in this final week as we got to the finish line. One of the things there were sidebar storylines essentially that I was following. The personal ones, the selfish ones. I needed to beat Boss Man. I did that. I wanted to beat Derek B. I did not get that done. I wanted to beat 100 grand. I did not do that. Finished tied with him. Lost to Derek B by 1. So that was a little disappointing there, but I did get Boss Man, so I do have bragging rights there over him. Did I get Twin D? That was another one that I wanted to get. Did I get him? Yep, I got Twin D. Came back off the pace and got Twin D, who actually started the year off pretty damn hot. But Mike Jink and Tiffany. So Mike Jink and his fiance Tiffany were going head to head, and Tiffany was hanging tough with him the entire time. Even took the lead and had him trailing for a little bit, but they finished even at 169 and 103. So no one gets any bragging rights. And you know what? That probably makes for a happier home at the end of the day. Nobody gets to rub it in the other's face. Hell of a job by Tiffany this year making selections. Same with my guy Mike Jank. I'm so proud of Samuel Pando. I did not think he was going to make it over 500. He had a really rough go of it a week or two ago, and I was like, damn it, Sam, I don't think you're going to make it. And then my man Sam pulls his best week out of his back pocket in week 18 when he had to have it. He goes 12-4 and sneaks over the Mendoza line at 137 and 135. I am so happy. You would have thought I won something for Samuel getting over 500, but that was the one. That was the one for me that I was like, man, I want my guy Sam to get it done. And this is fresh off of a piss cup I think he had last week. Let me check and see. I'm pretty sure he had the piss cup. Yeah, he had the piss cup last week, and I thought he blew it. And I was like, God damn it, Sam. We were getting so close. And then he comes and totally redeems yourself. And I'm so proud of Samuel Pando, man. So let's go through it real quick. So I added in the column at the end that I like to add in just so you know what you did. And you will see that obviously anybody with color is going to meet the threshold. So, that goes without saying. If you placed first, second, or third, you're going to exceed the percentage. But the percentage that you used to be striving for to validate that you had a really solid season as a prognosticator was 62%. That used to be the number. Now that we have 272 games in an NFL season, it used to be 256. But now that we've gone to the 272 regular season game format with the extra week, the percentage now has gone up to 63%. So in order to feel like you really did a hell of a job, 63% or better. And what that essentially amounts to is I also have something where I call the under one club. All right. So, and what that is under 100 losses. I think a lot of you who hadn't done this before have a newfound respect for picking winners. It's not easy. It's not easy because, as we know, the league is unpredictable. So if you finished with a percentage over 63, you should be patting yourself on the back and giving yourself a round of applause because it is hard picking winners. It's hard. There have been years where I killed it and I was in the 70s, bro. The worst I've ever done was 57%. I never wanted to see myself with the first number starting with a 5 ever again. I'm disappointed. As I told you, I had a rough year. I did not eclipse 63%. So I got work to do. I vow to be better next year, and I will be. But for those of you who were able to hit 63% or better, you should be proud of your damn self. That's a hell of an achievement. So we start with Coop, who finished tied for third at 176 and 96. So he's a part of the under one club. So shout out to Coop for getting that done. And his win percentage on the season ended up being 64.8. So again, one of the highest win percentages of anybody in the entire league this year. So shout out to Coop for getting it done. Silver V went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 11 and 5 to finish up. 63.9%, so almost 64% on the season for Silver V. That's a hell of a season. And again, you should be damn proud of what you turned in terms of an effort this season. Sundi, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 11 and 5 to finish up. Finished 156 and 16 for a 57.3% hit rate. Again, not very good. Not very good, but just be better next year. You know what I mean? Use this as a tool to fuel you to be better next year. Daywalker, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 and 6. Finishes up at 155 and 17. 56.9% hit rate. Twin D, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 11 and 5, 164 and 108, 60.2% hit rate. So just creeped over the 60% mark. In your gym, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 11 and 5, finishes 153 and 19, 56.2% hit rate for in your gym. Mike Jink and Tiffany, I think both came into this week, Todd. Did they? No, they didn't. Mike Jink was down 1, so he had to best her by 1, and he did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he went 10 and 6, and she must have gone 9 and 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That Dolphins-Bills game is what ultimately made the difference there. But Mike Jink was able to tie her up, and both finished at 169 and 103 for a 62.1% hit rate. Not bad at all, but not where you ultimately want to be. Walt 260, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 and 7. That's a nasty finish, by the way. Matter of fact, we're going to go ahead. Anybody with a 9 and 7, we just going to go ahead and slap you with the piss cup for now. That's 9 and 7 is pretty nasty. I don't know if we're going to find anybody that's messing with a 9 and 7 or anything lower than a 9 and 7. We'll see. But let's see. I don't know if we had another 9 and 7. Daywalker, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I think that's it. You too. Walt 260. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and piss y'all up real quick and see if that sticks, because 9 and 7, like I said, is pretty nasty. Walt 260 finished up at 168 and 104 for a 61.7% hit rate. Let's see. Kevin the PRF, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 11 and 5. Finished the season at 175 and 97 for a 64.3% hit rate, which is an excellent percentage. Kevin the PRF actually shocked the hell out of me. I did not expect him to do this well. And I don't know what that says about what I think about his prognosticating or what, but he's wowed me. I'll have my eye on him next year, because I didn't respect him coming into the season, and now he probably feels the same about me. So there you go. But that's an excellent percentage, and I have my eye on him next year. Obviously, Big Baller Blake is co-champion at 178 and 94. Again, did not finish all that well. 9 and 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But still, despite finishing up at 9 and 7, went with a 65.4, a league high 65.4 hit rate this season. Congratulations once again to Big Baller Blake. Boss Man, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, a 10 and 6 finish for him. 163 and 109 for a 59.9% hit rate, which is just nasty. I'm going to fry him up. That might be, I think that's the second lowest win percentage of a returning champion. I think this is as bad as I've seen someone that won the year before come back and do the next year. But shit happens. I took care of business and I did what I was supposed to do. And I separated myself from that funk that he was putting out. I went a 12 and 4 to finish up strong. 167 and 105 for a 61.3% hit rate. Again, nothing to write home about, but it ain't sub 60, right? It ain't 63 though. So I got a lot of work to do. Ricky D Hustle, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're gonna wet him up real quick with a 9 and 7. Finished up at 173 and 99 for a 63.6% hit rate. It's a hell of a year, Ricky D. Man, that's a hell of a year, my friend. And you are the second member. And what we'll do is we will put a no, that's too dark. I don't like that. Let's orange. If you are in the sub 1 club, then we're gonna put an orange one here for you to identify you as a part of the sub 1 club. So congratulations to Ricky D for not only hitting at 63.6%, but also being one of the few. This is an elite club, the sub 1 club. Not easy to do. Not easy to do. That's usually one of my goals before the season starts, is to not hit 100 losses. Clearly, that did not happen this year for me. J Cam Man, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ooh, 8. Looks like y'all are off the hook. Let me count that again just to make sure I'm not tripping. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's definitely gonna be the piss cup there. Ain't nobody. I can't see anybody else having more than 8 losses. You got to go out of your way to go to 9 losses. So everybody else is off the hook. Y'all can thank J Cam Man for going 8 and 8, taking y'all off the hook. And even with that 8 and 8 finish, 172 and 100. So he hit 63.2%, but he missed out on the sub 1 club because of the 8 losses. And so still a hell of a year for J Cam Man, but missed out on one of the accolades with a rough finish. Media Truth, and he may be sipping the piss cup on the way out. Media Truth, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 11 and 5. Finishes up the season at 160 and 112, 58.8% hit rate. Not ideal. Rich, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Rough finish for Rich at 9 and 7. He too had an opportunity to go sub 1 and stunk it up in week 18 and thus missed out on that, but did hit at a 63.2% clip, which is outstanding. So still did a hell of a job this year, but missed out on the sub 1 club. But the Bronco kid, however, did not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and he had a rough go of it. But again, that's where that consistency that I talked about kicks in. He started off the season rough. Now, anybody with Bronco in their name was pretty rough out of the gates, but he came on strong and was pretty good down the stretch. And his reward is 63.6% on the year, and also being a member of the prestigious Sub 1 Club. Mike Lowry. You know what we'll also do is we will. I want your name in orange. Yeah. If you're in the Sub 1 Club. No, that's not what I want to do. All right. Who else? Kevin the PRF is in the Sub 1. Who else? Silver V is in the Sub 1. And Coop is in the Sub 1. All right. So we continue to push forward and forge forward. Mike Lowry finishes up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 and 6, 168 and 104 on the season. So that rough finish, and it wasn't terrible. 10 and 6 isn't terrible, but it sees him just miss out on both the Sub 1 Club. Those 6 losses pushes him over triple digits, and it pushes him to the 61.7 mark on the season. And not bad, but not great either. Major Tutty barely made it to the finish line. 58% for Major Tutty. Tyrant, 78. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, and 7. Finishes up 153 and 119 on the season for a 56.2% hit rate. So again, we can do better, right? We can do a lot better. I'm going to guess that this was Tyrant 78's first time. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but learn from the experience, right? And vow to be better. 100 grand came out the gate talking shit. I wanted to beat his ass bad and didn't do it. I'm so disappointed in myself because he had no business beating me. None. And he didn't. But a tie feels like I lost. This ain't soccer. I'm not happy with a tie. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 10 and 6 to finish up 167 and 105 for a 61.3% hit rate. So we both finished up at 61.3. Or yeah. I'm disappointed. Should have got him. Big time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, and 7 for big time. Finishes up 152 and 120 for a 55.8% hit rate. Ew. Navy Ramjet. What week? I think it was week 16. He got the piss cup in week 16. That man ain't come back. I think that piss cup scared him away. It did it. It sent him over the edge. I'm disappointed because Navy Ramjet was killing it this year. And then he got a taste of that piss and lost his mind, man. And I hope everything's okay. I joke, I kid, but we don't know what people have going on in their lives. And, you know, there could be a very valid reason as to why he hasn't sent in picks the last couple weeks. But whatever the case may be, hope everything is okay. He was doing really well prior to the last 2 weeks. Finishes up with 53%, 53.6%, but a lot of that was because of 32 losses in the last 2 weeks because he didn't send in picks. Billy Bronco, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, and 7. Finishes up at 161 and 111 for 59.1% hit rate. Ouch. My guy, Samuel Pando, I can't be more proud of the 12 and 4 that you pulled out of your back pocket in the final week to get to 137 and 135. I think this could be, and I'm actually curious, I think this could be the first time you've been over 500 all year. What a time to be alive. What a time to do it. Let's see what you did in week 1. You were 7 and 9. If you didn't do it in week 1, I don't think you ever got over 500. 12 and 29. You never had over 500. This is amazing. This is amazing. You were 19 and 29. I see where this is going. Then you were Piss Cup, 25 and 39. Then you were 33 and 45. Then you were 42 and 51. Then you were 47 and 59. 57 and 65. 64 and 72. So you made a little bit of a comeback there. Then you were 72 and 78. Oh, made it. Wait a minute. Let's see. You're 6 games back of 500. Let's see what you did. Nope. Then you got the Piss Cup. So that went to hell in a handbasket. Back to 78 and 86. 87 and 93. Okay, so you were back within striking distance. 95 and 98. Okay, wait a minute. Maybe you did cross that threshold at one point this season. Nope, there go the Piss Cup. There goes the Piss Cup. Never mind. That drops you back down to 10 games under. You got within 3 games, and then you went and just oof. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 piece. Yikes. In week 14, you were down 10 with 4 weeks to go. This is an amazing, amazing finish to the season for you. Week 15, you went and dropped it down to sub 8. So 108 and 116. Then you went to 118 and 122, and I was rooting like, go get them, Sam. You can do it. And then you went and got the Piss Cup last week. And I was like, oh, shit, you ain't going to do it. 125 and 137. I was like, I don't think you're going to do it. And then you bust out a 12. You had never been over 500 all season. That's the persistence I'm talking about, Sam. That's what I'm talking about, Sam. Persistence. Pass it on. Final week of the season, and you finally hit over 500. My guy, Sam. Shout out to Samuel Pando. 137 and 135, 50.3% hit rate. We just happy you got over 500, my man. Mr. HTTR, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 10 and 6 to finish up, 167 and 105 for a 61.3% clip. Cody, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, and 7. Finishes up 161 and 111, 59.1 hit rate. Ouch. HTTR Carson, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 11 and 5. Finishes up at 175 and 97 for a 64.3 hit rate. HTTR Carson have been coming on like gangbusters of late, and so I am not surprised at the finish that he turned in, and also a part of the sub 1 club. Shout out to HTTR Carson for getting it done. Hell of a season, HTTR Carson. Derek B, disappointed. He got me by a game. One stinking game. I waited too late to try to make a power move on Derek B. And the problem is me and him just think too much alike. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 10 and 6 for him to finish up. And 168 and 104 for a 61.7% clip. Juice. One high water mark, as we talked about, peak performer of the week, 13 and 3. Finished up 170 and 102 for a 62.5% hit rate. So that 13 and 3 almost got you to that 63 threshold. Just missed out on the sub 1 club, but hell of a year by Juice. Bet the board 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 and 6. Finishes up 173 and 99, just sneaking in. Congratulations on making it to the sub 1 club. Bet the board. What a hell of a season. Hell of a season turned in by Bet the board. 63.6% hit rate. That's outstanding. Good work, and congrats for hitting 63% and also in the process hitting the sub 1 club. Smack City, we talked about that already. 11 and 5 to finish up, to come back. And look, this was a guy that led for most of the year. Fell off towards the end, but hung in there, overcame some obstacles late to get back and get a piece of first place. Finish up at 65.4%. Again, league high, tied with big baller Blake. And so Smack City getting her done. Congratulations on a piece of the chip and getting your hands on some of this bread. Gridiron King, hell of a season, Smack City. Hell of a season, my man. The consistency was just staggering this season. At times, I was like, "How am I gonna catch this dude? He won't cut me a break. I'm begging him to give me a week. It only happened late when I was already too far gone. Did you finally start cutting me a break? There was a stretch there, probably from like week 6 to like week 12 or 13, where you was just on it every week, and I'm like, God damn. When is this dude going to just have a stinking week? It just never happened. Never happened. Gridiron King, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 11 and 5, finishes up 174 and 98, 63.9% clip. Hell of a season, Gridiron King. Also, in the process of doing that, you find yourself in the sub 1 club. So congratulations for that as well. Gridiron King, hell of a season. Metaphor finishes up at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 11 and 5, 162 and 110, 59.5% hit rate. That's nasty. Hype do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 and 6, finished up 171 and 101. Just missed out on the 63%. Just missed out on the sub 100 club, the sub 1 club. And really, this last week got you in both respects. 10 and 6, had you gone 11 and 5, you would have made it to the 63%. And if you'd have went 12 and 4, you'd have made it to both. So talked about you coming on here and really being consistent this year. Had a little hiccup down the stretch, but finished up strong at 12 and 4, which got you to second place. So obviously 65% hit rate, outstanding work, second best in the league. And of course, sub 500 or sub 1 club with the record of 177 and 95. So Soul just killed it this year. Unfortunately, just falling short by a game of getting his hands on some of that bread. Rick Del Rula, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 and 6 to finish up. 165 and 107, 60.6 hit rate. So not bad. Not bad. Jordan Jones had been killing it of late and picked the wrong time to have a rough go of it. Let me see what his weeks have been late here of late. 1, 2, 3, 12 and 4 last week. The week before that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 11 and 5. The week before that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 and 6. So, I mean, this is probably where he's been at. But 10 and 6 to finish up. 176 and 96. Tied for third. 64.8%. Again, top 3 in the league in hit rate percentage. Obviously, sub 1 club. All of that good stuff for Jordan Jones. Was a remarkable year and the best for Jordan Jones yet. So, really happy for what Jordan was able to get done this season. Outstanding work. And then Dandrix, high water mark, peak performer in week 18 with a 13 and 3 mark, finished up at 166 and 106 for a 61% hit rate. Not bad, but not where you want to be when it's all said and done. So that elite sub 1 club only has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 members. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 members. Mind you, this thing started in week 1 with, what was it, 58, 11, and we get to 69, 58 people. 58. And out of 58 people, only 12 made it to the sub 1 club. Shout out to the 12 of you who made it. Hell of a season. Hell of a season. Hell of a season. So once again, congratulations to Big Baller Blake and Smack City for hoisting the crown. And crazy thing is I'm supposed to be getting that belt. I think it's supposed to, if I check the website, it's supposed to be getting that belt. I think it's mid to late February. I'm supposed to be getting that belt. But it's co-champions. I only ordered 1 belt. I didn't order 2 belts. So what I think I'm going to ultimately do is hold on to the belt, and it'll be the belt that I'll give out next year. I wasn't expecting to have 2 people win it. But in any event, this isn't a tag team title. Somebody's supposed to win. Nobody did, by themselves at least. So let's get to the comment section. Oh, first and foremost, let's take care of some business before we jump into the comment section. Who got the piss cup this week? Let me look real quick. JCam Man 99, my guy. That's it. So we'll look at it like this. You sacrificed your Bills making it to the playoffs by taking the piss cup. And I'm pretty sure that's a trade-off you were perfectly fine with making. So in order for your Bills to make it to the playoffs, you had to sip from the piss cup at some point this season. You waited till week 18 to do it. Come forth, take a knee. It shouldn't be too bad. That's the clearest piss I've seen all season. It's not that bad. It's not that bad at all. Now, it's still piss. Piss is piss. Still acidic. Still warm. But that's not dehydrated piss. So you should be fine. Go ahead and knock that back. Derek B, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, losing $25 and winners and losers, thumbs down. Bragging rights over LT, priceless. This is why I didn't want to lose to you. This is why I didn't want to lose. Because now you have that over my head for the next, 6 months. And I deserve that. 7 months, because we won't be doing this again. Well, 8 months really till September. So, and you deserve it. You were better than me, albeit by a game. You're still better than me, and that sucks. Of all the people after Boss Man, I wanted to beat you the most, and I still came up short. Disappointed. But good game, sir. Good game. Smack City, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Smack City, right? Good game to everyone. I appreciate the opportunity. Man, you ran a hell of a game, bro. I got to give you credit where credit is due. There were weeks where I said, this is the week he's going to fumble the bag this week, and I'm going to be there to scoop and score. I couldn't get you to turn it over, bro. You were methodical. You were taking what the weeks were giving you. You know, you found yourself in a lot of third and manageables, and you kept converting every single damn week for about a good 8 to 9 week stretch. And it was that consistency that kept your boy at bay and essentially put me away. By the time you started to struggle a bit, I was nowhere in sight. You had already opened up too big of a lead. And that's what I told y'all at the beginning. This is a test of consistency. You can be great for 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or even 5 weeks. But can you do it again? Can you do it again? Can you do it again? Can you do it again for 18 weeks? And you did. You did it enough. So shout out to Smack City, man. Hell of a run. John Wynn says, I saw your video clip from the NFC East Super Friends you were on earlier today from last night. And the one guy who's a Cowboys fan is very funny. And I was laughing so hard. That was literally priceless. I mean, instant classic. That was instant classic. It was a lot of fun last night. John Wynn says, Pete Carroll got fired from being the head coach of the Seahawks, but he still remains in Seattle as the advisor. After getting fired, that doesn't make any sense. So that's what you do when you respect the coach so much that you don't want to just outright fire them, right? You give them an advisory role sort of as your token of appreciation. Like, hey, you can't still coach this team, but we'd love to keep you on board in some capacity because we respect you so much. It's the most gentle and kindest way you can fire a legend. That's what that is. It's what the Buccaneers, and I said this yesterday, or it might have been earlier, as soon as I found out we were live. As a matter of fact, we just happened to be live when the news broke. And I said it reminded me of Bruce Arians. When the Buccaneers moved on from him, they gave him an advisory role in the front office, which was garbage, but that was their way of saying, hey, you just won us a Super Bowl, but Brady ain't coming back if you still the coach. So this is what we're going to do, right? So we've seen that before. We've seen organizations do it like that. But Pete Carroll made it abundantly clear that I wanted to be the coach. This is not me retiring. We did not mutually agree to part ways. I wanted to stay as the head coach here, and they wanted to move on in a different direction. And so if anybody's looking for a 72-year-old coach with a ton of energy that still got life and zest for the game, hit my line. So he made it clear to the rest of the league, hey, I don't have to be done if y'all don't want me to be. So we'll see how that situation goes. John says, I literally was crying earlier today after I heard the news broke about Pete Carroll being fired from the Seahawks. Yeah, man, he had a hell of a run. I didn't realize it had been 14 years he had been in Seattle. So that had to be one of the longest tenured coaches. He had to be one of the longest tenured coaches. Tomlin, him, Belichick. I feel like I'm missing one more. Harbaugh. I think those are the longest tenured coaches in the NFL. And Belichick still hasn't, the decision hasn't been made there yet. But Nick Saban retired today. So you're seeing a lot of these oldie but goodies being either pushed out or saying, you know what? I had a hell of a run, but I'm too old for this shit. So, I mean, I think Saban and Carroll are 72, and I think Belichick is 71. So we've seen a lot of these oldie but goodies finding the exits for whatever reason, right? Niners fan writes, on the newest Hard Knocks, McDaniel talked about his alcohol addiction and how Kyle, Dan Quinn, and Raheem Morris held an intervention to help him overcome it. Pretty inspiring stuff. I am going to binge watch that over the offseason when there's no more football. I have forced myself to stay away from it because when there is no football left, when I'm jonesing, when, it's no more draft talk, when we get to that point in May and into June where there is this is what I'm going to turn on and watch. So I've stayed away. I did the same thing last year with the Arizona Cardinals. Was it the Arizona Cardinals in season? Yeah. And I did the same thing the year before with Indianapolis with Carson Wentz. So I'm just going to stay away. And once I have nothing to watch, I'll turn it on and I'll probably end up binging it. But I've seen a couple of clips from various episodes. They all look great, so I can't wait to watch. HTTR Carson writes, had fun this year with the LTN exclusives. Keep it up, man. I appreciate you. And you had a hell of a season in winners and losers in particular. I appreciate you playing, and I look forward to doing battle with you again next year. God spare a life. Let's see. Ink. Let's see. At first, I did not like May as a prospect. Thought he was regular. I've done my homework, and he really reminds me of Big Ben, just slimmer and faster. Hope we get him. His game translates. I remember the first time I was exposed to Drake May. I didn't want to like him or Caleb Williams, to be honest with you. I was trying to hate on both of them, because I heard their name too many times. I'm like, they can't be that nice. And then I watched 2 games of each of them, and this was 2022 games, and I was like, damn, they both nice. And so I haven't watched any of his games really in 2023, however, so I'll have to go back. But the 2 games I watched in 2022, they were impressive. I was like, damn, he's actually good. JCamman 99. Hey, how you coming? Yeah, I know. It looks like water, right? It's not, though. Yeah, you can tell it ain't water. Yeah, I know. Go ahead and finish that squig you got in the bottom of that cup, man. He writes, the problem was this in week 18. Yeah, I could have researched my ass off, but I needed to have 6 differences from the leader to have a chance. You can't go that ship had sailed, my friend. You can't go chasing dubs in week 18. You just gotta you gotta put yourself in a position to win in week 18. Like, you can't hope for a miracle in week 18. You can't be putting your hopes in Bryce Young, and you can't be putting your hopes in Easton Stick. Like, that's not the way to go. I get it that you were trying to make a run at the chip, but you ain't getting that chip. You ain't getting it. If you're that far back, you ain't getting it. So don't tarnish your record. You worked too hard this season to put yourself in a position to have a great win percentage and to be in the sub-1 club. Like, don't tarnish that chasing after something you're not going to get anyway. At that point, you should have just said, let me just go 12-4 on the way out the door. Hit this sub-1 club, be at 64.2% on the year, and feel damn good about what I just did. Anyway, hurry up and finish up the piss, man. King of the Bluegrass, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, if Washington does hire a defensive-minded head coach, what kind of offense do you want to see here? An effective one. It'll be interesting to see what they decide to do, because if you hire a defensive-minded guy, you got 2 options. You can go for the young upstart, quarterbacks coach or passing game or run game coordinator somewhere, or one of these dudes who has the title of offensive coordinator, but they're not actually calling the plays, like in Miami or in LA with the Rams or Cincinnati, or, you know, one of these places that technically has a offensive coordinator, but the head coach is calling the plays. Or you can go with an established veteran offensive coordinator that ain't nobody checking for in terms of a head coaching job. And so if that dude is a good fit for you, you don't have to worry about anybody poaching him from you, because don't nobody want his ass, whether he's been a coach 2-3 times over and that ship is sailed, or he's just not made to be a head coach in this league for whatever reason. Like Greg Roman's never been a head coach, and he's had effective offenses, but ain't nobody ever really gave him a shot to be a head coach either. So the league ain't really checking for him as a head coach. So, and I'm not saying that's who I would want either, just as an aside. I'm still gonna say, give me the young guy, the young upstart, and if he kills it and gets a job elsewhere, you deal with that when that time comes. J-Cam Man 99 writes, I lost this a few years ago because I picked the Giants over the Cowboys because Dallas was supposed to bench their starters but didn't. They won 35-34. Everyone else picked Dallas, maybe third. Week 18 can be unpredictable because you don't know what's going to happen. Like a lot of people, I shouldn't say everybody, a lot of people picked the Eagles. I didn't. I expected them to lose to the Giants, but I didn't expect them to lose in the manner that they did, but I expected them to lose that game. But you couldn't have known that they were going to get their asses kicked in the manner that they did. But they sat all, even if there was a chance for them to come back, they sat all of their starters essentially after they started getting injured and stuff. So you just don't know how it's going to go with certain games. Like I said, you knew that Cincinnati was going to play all of their guys. A lot of dudes still had incentives that they were trying to go after. Jamar Chase needed a bunch of catches and a bunch of yards, and he got that to get his incentives, right? So you knew Cincinnati was going to play for something. Cleveland wasn't. So that was like that's a gimme, right? You know the Raiders are playing for Antonio Pierce, so they're going to play hard. And, you know, the Broncos, their season's done. And a lot of those guys in the locker room don't like what was done to Russell Wilson. So they weren't going to beat the Raiders, right? There's certain games you can just say, hey, I know. Like the harder games for me were both of the NFC West games. I didn't know what the hell to do. San Francisco or the Rams. I didn't know. I just said, Sean McVay hasn't beaten the 49ers in like 90 years in the regular season. Just give me San Francisco. And the Rams won by 1. I was like, Seattle needs this for a playoff spot. Arizona's dangerous, but give me Seattle. And Seattle should have lost the game. Arizona should have won on a walk-off field goal. But Prater missed 2 field goals on their last 2 possessions, and they lost the game by 1 or 2. And that was the difference between me winning and going 12-4, or losing and going 11-5, and potentially, you know, not tying with $100,000 or something like that. Like, you just don't know. I wanted that game bad though. I watched that joint to the end, and I was cheering when he missed that field goal. Coop, right? So close yet so far. Lots of fun though. Thanks for running this thing, Lou. Congratulations to Big Baller Blake and Smack City. That bread is all mine next time. That's how I feel, man. Yeah, y'all got it this time, but I'm telling y'all, next time, that shit is mine, all mine. Jordan Jones, right? Those Saturday games was overthinking them, and it cost me. Jeez. But congrats to both of the victors. Yeah, the Saturday games were easy for me. The Texans one was a toss-up. Like, that could have gone either way. But I just couldn't see the Colts in the playoffs, and that was my rationale. Period. End of discussion. They were going to have to prove it to me that you could go to the playoffs with Gardner Minshew as your starting quarterback. I just didn't see it, and they validated what I thought. Even though they made a hell of a run and they had a great season, came out of nowhere. No, you can't go. And then the Steelers one is the Steelers were playing for a playoff spot that they actually got, which I didn't see coming, and thought they would win the game, though, because the Ravens had nothing to play for, but didn't think they would get in, and they did. Hell of a season, though, Jordan Jones. Hell of a season. Christopher McLaughlin, my guy, Chris. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB who writes. Hey, Lou. What's up, Chris? Hope all is well with you and the family. Likewise. Who do you see replacing Carroll as coach in Seattle? Dan Quinn or someone else, and why? How about Mike Vrabel going to New England if Belichick leaves, and why? Both of those are very astute selections for those particular teams because of the history that those two gentlemen have with those respective franchises. Dan Quinn really cut his teeth in the league in Seattle, was a part of the construction of the Legion of Boom, and was really largely responsible for the success of that defense. Parlayed that into an opportunity to become the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons. And I think there are still a lot of strong ties for him in Seattle. And again, I just find it hard to believe. And I know that all of those things kind of lend itself to Dan Quinn maybe going back to Seattle, unless there's some sort of nostalgia there. To me, you've held out for the last two coaching cycles to go back to Dallas because it's been a fun gig and you're enjoying yourself, and you kind of wanted to see. I think he kind of wants to see what happens with Mike McCarthy, because if he F's it up, if he screws the pooch and they fire him, he might be in line to get the job in Dallas. And I think that's what he would ultimately like to see happen. But if that doesn't come to fruition and they hold on to McCarthy and he's like, all right, I'm ready to go be a head coach. And this is a great year. Like I said, a lot of good opportunities available, which is why I think he's taking interviews this time around. The interesting thing is, though, why would you leave Dallas if you've been turning down opportunities to go elsewhere? Now, I'm not telling you that there have been some great opportunities, but the Jacksonville opportunity 2 years ago, and they really wanted Dan Quinn, and they ended up going with Doug Peterson because Dan Quinn didn't want to interview for the job. Or I think he did interview and turned down the offer. You would go to Seattle? Like he's waiting. Clearly, Dan Quinn, who's been a head coach in this league before, has gone to a Super Bowl. He's waiting for the perfect opportunity. Is Seattle really the perfect opportunity? Because I don't see it that way. That's why I find it hard to believe that he's going to Seattle. Quinn, to me, is going to go somewhere where he's comfortable with the quarterback position because he knows how important that is. And I think they're going to have some defensive pieces that he can play with. Now, he's really good at finding guys that fit his scheme, but I think he'd like to go somewhere where there are already pieces in place, and then he just has to add a few more to get the defense the way that he wants, because he knows that's going to be the fastest way for him to turn around any program, is to go in there, have the defense be top-notch, and we'll figure out the offensive stuff as we go. But you need a quarterback. And I think that, and in my mind, that's what he's been waiting on, is an opportunity with a quarterback and some quality pieces on defense. And so I'd be shocked if he goes to Seattle, but I wouldn't dismiss it. Vrabel, on the other hand, that seems like the perfect fit. Him going to New England, strong family ties there. He fits that DNA profile. The way he coaches, I think, coincides with the kind of players that are already on that roster. And I think he can make the most of what they have. Obviously, they need a quarterback. They're in a position to get one. I think he'd be a fantastic hire in New England if they move on from Belichick, which is a strong if right now, and a big one, because the longer it draws out, I still believe Belichick is going to be there. But we'll see. Seattle strikes me as a place where you would get a retread coach, someone that's been a coach in this league before. You could get a young defensive guy. I don't see any real young offensive-minded coach with options going to Seattle. I see a tough-minded defensive coach looking for his first opportunity going to Seattle, but not an offensive dude. Like, I don't see Ben Johnson saying, yeah, give me Seattle, right? Give me Geno Smith. I don't see Bobby Slowick saying, yeah, let me go to Seattle and work Geno Smith. I mean, there's some pieces there. If you're Bobby Slowick, there are pieces there, but you've just got to feel like I can do so much better than that. So we'll see. Let's see. Where were we? EB equals extremely bad, right? People are blaming EB's failure on Sam because he's a 5th-round pick. But when he was hired, everyone said it was a smart move because he would be able to turn a 5th-round pick into a good quarterback. You can't have it both ways. To me, if he wanted a job in the league as either a head coach or an offensive coordinator elsewhere, he needed to show that he could take, because the fastest path to success as a coordinator is to take a young quarterback and turn him into a budding star. Hence, Bobby Slowick is in a position to get a job after being a coordinator for 1 year. Why? Because he took C.J. Stroud and helped him turn in one of the greatest rookie seasons we've ever seen from a quarterback. That's what Eric Bieniemy had an opportunity to do, and he failed miserably. So I don't care where the player was drafted. Sam Howell has talent. That's not the issue. The issue is Eric Bieniemy didn't give Sam Howell the necessary opportunities to succeed. He didn't give his offense the best chance to succeed on a weekly basis. He put them at a stark disadvantage by having play calls that didn't put the team in the best positions to succeed with the players that they had. We don't have a Travis Kelce, so you can't run plays that a Travis Kelce would run. So your tight ends can't be out here getting 8 to 10 targets a game. That's not how this offense is supposed to be set up. But it is what it is. People are going to make excuses for whatever. And you can say the things that I say are excuses because I ride for Sam. But at the end of the day, anybody that watched saw clearly that there was no run game. There was no play action fake because there was no consistent run game. A lot of the plays, like the boots and the keepers to the left, were stupid. You got him throwing across his body all the time. You can run those same plays to the right where there isn't as much stress on him trying to turn his hips and deliver the football. Like, just a lot of, just to me, bad play calling, bad game plans. I just thought his in-game calls and lack of adjustments were just startling to me. But anyway, I digress. We'll take a couple more and then we'll get out of here. EB equals extremely bad writes. Don't know if you do wide receiver rankings, but who's your top 3? Mine is a Devontae Adams, 1, 2 Tyreek, and 3 Justin Jefferson. Nothing has changed for me between now and last season. Devontae's QB was bad. I definitely wouldn't put Devontae Adams at the top of that list any longer. His quarterback situation was not ideal, and while he's still very good, he's also getting up there in age too. He's not a spring chicken anymore. There are other receivers. Clearly, CeeDee Lamb is playing out of his gourd right now, and he has been playing really well the last couple of years. He's been coming on strong. But to me, it's still Tyreek Hill, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, and all of those types of receivers before a Devontae Adams. But CeeDee Lamb has entered himself into that conversation with the season he just turned in, for sure. Niners fan writes, how did you not beat 100 grand? Didn't he have the Piss Cup like 3 times? I don't know if he had it like 3 times. Speaking of Piss Cup, good job, JCamman99. Go ahead and put the cup down right there, man. I think he had it. I know he had it twice for sure. He might have had it the third time. You might be right. As a matter of fact, we don't have to guess. I can just check. And you asked how did I not beat him? Because I was sorry this year. That's a great indicator of how bad I have been this year. That somebody like 100 grand could and he first of all, he did not beat me. Let's clarify that right now. He did not beat me. We tied. But I shouldn't be tying somebody like 100 grand. I'm very disappointed in myself. He had the Piss Cup in week 6. He had the Piss Cup. He had the Piss Cup Ultra in week 10. I think that was his last Piss Cup. Yeah, that was his last Piss Cup. He had 2. I didn't think he had 3. He had 2, but he had a Piss Cup Ultra in there. So, yeah, shame on me, man, for not being able to get it done against him. I thought I had him, and then in week 16, I think remember that was that funky week where everybody struggled. It was a bloodbath in week 16, and that's his type of party because he be picking bullshit. So while everybody else was thinking it up, going 7-9 and 8-8 and all kinds of foolishness, he went like 12 and he probably went like 11-5, or if there were 15 games that week or week 16, so it's 16 games. I think he probably went like 10-6 while everybody was going 7-9 and 8-8 and all that types of nonsense. And that's the kind of week where I stunk it up and he killed it. And that's how he caught up to me, because I actually had passed him and he was in the rear view and I was laughing. And then I looked back and he was right there in my face. I was like, what in the hell? I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed. I'm not going to lie. I'm ashamed. JCamman99 writes, if you look at my week 18, I picked nearly all teams with winning records. So it wasn't anything too crazy except the Pats who lost. But just because they have winning records doesn't mean they're good picks, JCam, man. Let me look and see what you did. Ravens weren't going to win that game. That was a bad pick. Jacksonville, everybody took that L. Totally get that one. Patriots, totally get that one. I don't know why you picked the Browns. They weren't going to play anybody in that game, and the Bengals had incentive to play well. Denver, okay. I mean, I don't like that pick, but it's fine. Eagles, okay. I don't have a problem with that. 49ers, what are you going to do there? And I think you picked the Dolphins just because you probably told yourself if I pick the Bills, they're going to lose. Then that's your favorite team. But whatever the case may be, there's no excuse for 8 losses. I'm just going to say that. And what you did wasn't egregious, right? Like you said, you didn't pick Atlanta. You didn't do anything. You didn't pick Carolina. You didn't do anything stupid per se. You didn't pick Washington. You didn't do crazy stuff. But like Buffalo, you should have known your Bills were going to win. You should have picked Buffalo. But again, I think I know why you did that. That felt like some superstitious shit right there. I can't knock the hustle. San Francisco lost by 1. Yeah. What can you do? Eagles, what can you do? Like, you're not alone in that one. Denver, I would not have done that. That's the one where I'm looking at. I'm saying you were probably out of pocket there. You didn't need to do that. And the Browns might have been your worst pick. They had no chance in Cincinnati. None. If I had like a survivor pool or a lock of the week, it would have been Cincinnati. That's who I would have picked. I would have bet money that Cleveland wasn't going to win that game. But again, it is what it is. You drank your piss like a man. JCamman99 says, I knew it was going to be $1,400 or the piss cup this weekend. You woke up and chose piss. That's what it ultimately ended up being. You woke up and chose piss. All right, let's get out of here. Read 2 or 3 more. JCamman99 says, seriously, man, thanks for doing this whole thing. A lot of fun doing this. Good community atmosphere. You know how we do it, JCamman99. And I appreciate you for participating as always. I'm reaching in here and see if there's any more to grab. My guy Sam, man, Samuel Pando. Thank you for keeping us upright concerning our favorite team. This is my first time playing. Obviously, I knew that. Did not like the PP part, but hope to do better next year. Thank you, my man Lou. Good to have you on board, Sam. And I am proud of you, proud of your progress this year. Glad you finished over 500. So, once again, congratulations to Smack City and Big Baller Blake. I will be checking to see what methods of payments you have. If you have Cash App, be looking for that money ASAPual. If you have PayPal, don't be looking for that money anytime soon. You'll probably get it sometime next week. But I will start that process tonight. Either way, thanks to every single one of you who participated this year. You made this the most successful and one of the most enjoyable years of the Louie T Network exclusives. And I can't thank you guys enough. We will do this one more time, and we'll come back and hand out awards for those of you who earned them. And so I look forward to doing that at a later date and time. I will keep you abreast of that situation. However, enjoy the rest of your evening. We got playoff football coming down the pipeline. I have a podcast on Friday where we will break down all of the matchups, talk about those, give predictions, all of that good stuff. But in the meantime, you guys enjoy the rest of your week, and I look forward to chopping it up with you guys. And once again, thank you for making this year of the LTN exclusives the best year of the LTN exclusives. Till next time, you guys take care. God bless. Good night.